Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Shagun Navada here, the founder of shagunnavada.in. We are one-stop shop for all the AML transaction monitoring, screening, and the other risk-related courses online. So let's begin. Today we are going to discuss that if you're going to face an interview for a AML analyst or a AML investigator, what kind of preparation do you need and what kind of questions can you expect from the interviewer. So let us see what all you need to prepare. So we are not going to the generic questions, which not only for this kind of interview, but these questions are asked in any role you apply for, like general questions about tell me about yourself, education, background. So we are not going to get into that. Let us only discuss purely on the AML or transaction monitoring job description, which the interviewer or the company who is employing provides you. So number one, it is very important that you go through the job description because you can pick up a few keywords from the job description itself, and those will be helpful when you're answering the investigator. Like I told you, the very first thing you need to do is read the job description. The second important thing is that you read about the employer by doing Google searches. Yeah, for example, you're applying for a ABC bank. Then please do Google searches and try and know how big the bank is, how many employees does it have globally, what are the type of products which it offers, and where does it have its head office, and all this kind of basic information which would be really helpful for you to get a background as to how well the company, how good the company is basically, and is it matching your expectation. Can you learn something from that company, or do you see growth in that particular company, which is most important. So please do the searches and go through the profile of the company. This is also going to help you when the interviewer questions you, like, okay, about what do you know about our company. So you will have your answer ready with you if that question comes up. And believe me, majority of the times that is the question which is going to be asked. And then the obvious question, what do you know about anti-money laundering and transaction monitoring? That is definitely a question which you can expect. So again, when you are reading through about anti-money laundering and other aspects of money laundering, ensure that you make notes of the keywords which are there. So for example, the question is, okay, tell me what you know about money laundering in very simple terms. So majority of the candidates who come for the interview as freshers, they just say that converting black money into white money is called money laundering. I mean, believe me, that is the worst answer to give. So this immediate question would be, okay, converting black money to white money is money laundering. So where do the banks stand? Where does the bank come in between? So this is the reason it is very important that you pick up on the keywords and make a note and just read through before the interview once. So the actual answer, and please pick up the keywords here. So the actual answer is money which is obtained by illegal means is introduced into the financial system, so that when it comes out of the financial system, the money appears to be legitimate. So I hope you picked on the keywords: money illegally obtained, introduced into the banking system, and by the time it comes out, it appears to be legitimate. So no one can convert black money into white money. They can only make it appear to be legitimate. So I hope you're getting my point as to how you need to prepare and pick up on the keywords. Now the other question they might ask you is, okay, if we hire you for the role of a AML investigator, will you be able to stop money laundering? So majority of the freshers again do the same mistake, saying that yes, I will stop money laundering. So that's a wrong answer to give. I mean, basically the job description or the role of an AML investigator is to help combat money laundering, but not stop money laundering. It is impossible to stop money laundering, but you can always, safeguard the bank from money being laundered using their bank, and yeah, work with the authorities of the local governments or agencies to combat money laundering. So that should be your answer. And the important question is, what are the three stages of money laundering? Okay, so it's just placement, layering, and integration. Now, after this question, generally, the freshers who are giving the interview, they tend to start explaining what is placement, what is layering, and what is uh, integration. So don't do that. Okay, now generally the candidate who's a fresher would be nervous and trying to fill the gaps because they don't want silence. It makes them very nervous. So once you answer, just say three stages of money laundering are placement, layering, and integration. And placement is the first stage. And you, I mean, stop in the sense, not literally pause yourself like a statue, and you just stop. Let that, dead air be there, and wait for what is the next question going to be from the interviewer. Now there might be a question as to, okay, can you explain me what is placement? So just answer in very simple terms that placement is the first stage of money laundering, wherein the monies which are received from illegal deeds are introduced into the financial system. So that is the first stage. That's it. You stop there. You don't explain anything else beyond that because that is placement basically. What is layering? So layering is the money which is received into the account after it is placed into the financial system. There is a complex web of transfers which is carried out by the money launderer so that the actual source of the money can be disguised. So again, you need to pick up on this keyword. So disguised, complex web of transfers, the stage, second stage after the placement stage. So these are the keywords here. Integration. So majority of you say that once the money is layered and then the money launderer uses this money to purchase a property or to purchase an expensive car, or money is spent on lavish things. Sorry about that. So that is the wrong answer. Okay, the reason is the money launderer is always looking for getting the money back as legal funds so that it appears to be legal. So if the money launderer is spending in a house, the money is blocked. If the money launderer is spending money on a expensive car, the money is blocked there. So the actual answer to the integration stage is that after purchasing a house or purchasing a luxury car, the house is sold and the money which comes from the sale of a house appears to be legitimate, and then integration, after integration the cycle of money laundering is complete. That means the placement, layering, and integration is done, and the money launderer was successful in laundering the money. So this should be your answer. I also advise you to go through sanctions. There might be a question as to tell me what do you know about sanctions. Keep your answer very simple in your own words, but again, like I told you, use the keywords. So tell me what are sanctions. So you just say that sanctions are restrictions imposed on a particular company to put pressure, not company, sorry. So sanctions are restrictions imposed on a particular country to make that company. So sanctions are restrictions imposed on a particular country to make that country comply with the international standards. So uh, you know the keyword here should be, you can say, put pressure on a particular country to comply with the international norms. So that is the reason there are sanctions, and there are a lot of type of sanctions. It could be economic sanctions, it could be financial sanctions, it could be sanctions in relation to human rights, it could be sanctions in relation to nuclear power or manufacturing of nuclear weapons. So there are a lot of type of sanctions. Once you go through, please pick up on the keywords. And the most common type of sanctions which you see in almost every country, which is sanctions. So for example, Iran, North Korea, various other, Cuba, and various other countries, this is nothing but usage of nuclear power, and the second most important one is violation of human rights. So these two are always there when you go through the countries list which are sanctioned and the reason why these countries have been sanctioned. Then they might ask you, who imposes sanctions. So you will say the United Nations and the European Union impose sanctions. Of course, there will be some kind of restrictions on sanctions locally within the neighboring countries as well. Uh, yeah, so those are sanctions. If they ask you the name of a few countries, please be prepared. So when you're going through doing your homework on sanctions, please remember the name of the countries. Now there might be a question asking you, why are you interested in AML related roles? You do not have any experience. So how are you going to manage this if at all you get selected. So keep the answer very simple. You just say that I have a lot of friends who are working in AML related jobs, and when I speak to them generally, when they explain about the process, I found it to be very interesting. And then I did my research on the internet, and I believe that there are a lot of career opportunities. And you can also have external certifications like ACAMS and also ICA. So that is the reason I was looking forward to build my career in AML, transaction monitoring, risk related roles. Now there might be a follow-up question asking you, where do you want to see yourself uh, 5 years down the line, if at all you are given this opportunity? So do not answer saying that I want to grow up the ladder, I want to be assistant manager, then manager, or senior analyst, or subject matter expert. Give an answer which indicates that you want to grow in your career naturally. You're not looking or waiting for an opportunity to come and then you pounce upon it. So basically, what the interview is looking for, how are you really passionate about this job? Okay, so your answer should be that yes, I want to do my certifications, I want to be professionally certified via ACAMS or by ICA, and my interest is getting a compliance or a group auditor kind of a role. That is where I want to see me 5 years down the line, but that is my long term goal. But for achieving that, I do have short term goals, to grow within the process, uh, and then of course gain that practical knowledge of how to operate the systems, the AML systems, the core banking systems, which is the basic. So I want to get hands on with the basics first, and then as and when I take my one step at a time, I want to see myself as a group auditor or end up in a core compliance department or any kind of risk related roles. So that should be your answer. Also prepare, okay, about geographic locations and what are the conflicts between countries. Believe me, that separates you from other people who have done their homework. So, for example, if the interviewer asks you, where is Mongolia? Do you have any clue? So, the answer is Mongolia is between Russia. Russia is on the north, and then China is on the south. Okay, so what are the conflicts between Ukraine and Russia? Okay, why did the Russia Ukraine war happen? Yeah, so Russia Ukraine war happened because the NATO forces were deployed in Ukraine, to which Russia was against it because it saw that as a security threat to its country. So that is the reason the conflict happened. That is how it all started. So it is very important that you are up to date with your current affairs, geopolitical knowledge, the geographical location, and the conflicts between countries. Now, how good are you in report writing? How good do you think are your communication skills? Uh, 1 being the lowest and then 10 being the highest. So do not answer, I would rate myself as a 7 or 8. Believe me, written English is completely different than spoken English. So no doubt if you're able to speak English properly doesn't mean that you can write English properly. The kind of reports you write are read by the authorities if at all you are reporting a customer outside of the bank and the report is going to the authorities. So it is not that as an individual you are reporting, but as a bank, ABC Bank, you are reporting. So you are representing the bank basically. So your report writing should be of absolutely top-notch quality. Yeah. So if that question comes to you, then your answer should be a very conservative approach. You must say that I would rate myself a 5.5. Yeah, but I am, going through articles and on social media and trying to improve myself. It's a learning process which is continuous. But yes, I am conscious about that, and I'm sure that I'm putting the effort in the right direction. So that should be your answer. Now, again, generic question which they might ask is, what are your weaknesses? So your answer should be very simple. I mean, this is what I would have answered if I was a fresher as a weakness. So I would have just said that I thought that I know a lot of things, but when my friends told me about anti-money laundering, new money laundering, and how does it happen, what are the banks doing about it, what measures are being taken to, you know, stop money laundering. So when I heard about all that, I really felt that, I am weak in all this. So I need to broaden my domain, which I am currently working on. Keep my own open. I keep my mind open basically for opportunities, and do not become a frog in a well. So that was why my weakness. I'm working towards it. Any bit of information I can get about any kind of a role, and I'm happy that fortunately my friend spoke about this particular role which exists in banks. I was very happy, and that is the moment when I realized that yes, this appears to be very interesting, and let me prepare for it. Before we move on to the next part of the video, I just wanted to let you know that I'm hosting a 1 hour session this coming Sunday, which is the 6th of April, uh, as to what Shagun Navada .in has to offer you in AML courses, like the basic course and the advanced course. What are the topics which are going to be covered? It's a 1 hour session. The morning slot is 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., whereas the evening slot is 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And you'll also have an opportunity to meet senior analysts and senior AML investigators who are already working for the largest banks. So they will be joining you, and you'll have a great opportunity to ask questions if you have about anti-money laundering, what kind of role it is, anything in relation to regulations, or what kind of systems are used, what are the skills which are required to be a AML investigator. So those kind of questions you can definitely go ahead and ask the panelists who will be joined. And remember, these panelists are ACAM certified and ICA certified. So if you do have any questions in relation to how to prepare for these roles, then please do ask them. So the registration fees for this particular session is going to be rupees 199 only. So please go ahead and register yourself. Any kind of questions, you can give me a call or just WhatsApp me to clarify any doubts before you register yourself. So see you in the session, hopefully. So that's it. I think if you do have any more questions which you need answers for, or you think that the interviewer might ask you, please put it down in the comments, or you can WhatsApp me to get the answers. And yeah, that's it for today. And take care of yourself. Bye for now. See you in the next video.